Hi everyone, I'm Harshi, a current student at the TripleTen Software Engineering Bootcamp, and I'm showcasing the project that me and my group, called Team Readyness, made for this TripleTen CodeJam. Our group consisted of me, Julian, Howard, and Anissa. Our goal this CodeJam was to create a website that had modifiable checklists to help anyone prepare for disasters. The checklist would include default items that gave basic recommendations and advice to those who would need it in the case of disasters, and also the ability to add more items to the checklist to better prepare themselves for what they may need. We utilize HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to construct our website. One of our unique or main features is that each different checklist has its own default items. If you were to go to another checklist, you would have a completely different list of items that fits with each disaster. This is one of the biggest parts of the project and definitely the one that we worked the most on. It required the most amount of JavaScript, but I believe we were able to succeed in the end. Now, to showcase the website, as you can see here, we have a header, which each of these three buttons will lead to different parts of the web page. If you were to click on checklist, it would lead to the 4 checklists that we currently have. If you were to go to the about section, it leads to the footer with the about for everyone that created the project. The useful links also leads to the footer with the useful links that we will get to later in this video. Now, to go back to checklist, as you can see here, we currently have 4 checklists. The later implementation that we may want to do in the future is obviously adding more checklists for different types of disasters. Now, for snowstorm, for example, since we'll use that as the example, as you can see here, it has currently 5 different items, default items for the checklist that happen the moment you open the web page. And what I meant by different unique default items is, as you can see here, snowstorm checklist. If you go to hurricane, it has hurricane checklist and 5 also different items. The same goes for fires, the same goes for earthquakes. Now, if we were to add a new item, for example, let's say water, and either click enter or the add button, so I'll do it for both here. As you can see, water, it adds a new item. If I were to remove water, it also works. If I were to type water back in and click add, the water button continues to come back. And if we were to, for example, let's check mark a bunch of boxes, close out of this current modal, and open the hurricanes, the default items from the hurricane and the item that we added in the snowstorm do not appear. And if we go back to snowstorm, the check mark boxes and the new item that we added also continue to stay there even if we move to a different checklist. And that is somewhat of the main point of this project. It allows people to add more items to the checklist and has its own default items in case someone doesn't know what exactly they should need in the very beginning. The button also works for the title. It also leads to the same thing. And to continue on, as I mentioned previously, the footer leads to the GitHub pages for the 4 people that worked on the project. The credits page, which link the sources for every image that we used in this project, and the useful links of this from the American Red Cross and below lead to the official pages for people who may currently be in a disaster in case they need help, and our new second page, our glossary of terms, which lead to basically a glossary of different words that we may have used throughout our checklist, where in case someone may not understand or not remember the exact definition, we have a glossary page to define everything that we may have here, such as the N95 mask and snowstorm, tropical cyclone, that give a more direct definition of what these words mean. And obviously each and every button here, when clicking on it, moves to that specific part of the web page. The back to top brings us all the way back to top. The footer remains the same, and if you were to click back to home, it leads us back to the home page with the everything continuing to work. Now, what we also implemented was a mobile view. As you can see here, if we were to go to the mobile section, it has its own mobile look or styling for the web page, and everything continues to work even in the mobile version. And the same also applies for the glossary of terms. As you can see here, it is different mobile view for the glossary as well, and every button still continues to work. And that is the majority of what we did in this checklist. Overall, this project helped us to improve in the JavaScript department, and most importantly, GitHub, since we heavily utilized it to assign tasks and help each other throughout the project, along with being able to cleanly merge our tasks together. This is what I believe to be the most important and significant thing that we learned in this project. The ability to work with teams in a GitHub format greatly improved our ability to work on this project. Without it, I believe it'd be much more difficult to have made this project since we all assigned different tasks to ourselves that we eventually had to merge into one project, it made things a lot easier to do it all through GitHub, which is something that we weren't too experienced with, at least in the aspect of working with a group of people. We hope you enjoy visiting our project and all of its features. Thank you very much. Have a good day.